I want to start with Caitlin Clark. She opened, the Fever opened this weekend preseason exhibition play. Caitlin, I think, missed the first game because of concern about her knee or leg or something, some sort of injury. She played in game 2 in Iowa last night. I think she scored 16 points, 6 of 10 from the field, 4 of 6 from three-point range. She was typical Caitlin Clark. She hit some like 36-foot three from behind the arc that was incredible. But the real story was how this Brazilian national team that played the Fever, it's the way they received her, the way they celebrated her. It's quite a contrast that these women of color from Brazil and their coach had, as opposed to the American players and American women of color and how they treat Caitlin Clark. So I just want to play you this small clip of the head coach of the Brazilian team and an exchange that he had early on with Caitlin Clark. Play the clip.
How are you? Good, how are you?
You're an amazing player. Congratulations.
Thanks.
You're changing the history in basketball.
I appreciate it. Thanks for coming here and playing us. Most people you've played in front of.
Yeah.
You're changing the history of basketball. You're an amazing player. What you're doing is phenomenal. Celebrating Caitlin Clark. Why does someone from Brazil, who isn't directly benefiting from what Caitlin Clark has done for the WNBA, why is he celebrating her more enthusiastically than the overwhelming majority of coaches, players in the WNBA? The Brazilian team isn't flying private to games around Brazil or anywhere thanks to Caitlin Clark. WNBA players are, while losing $20, $30, $40 million a year because of Caitlin Clark, they're flying private. They're being treated as stars and celebrities. They're all riding Caitlin's coattails to television commercials, more money than what they're actually generating. They're being treated as superstars because of Caitlin Clark. But it takes a coach from Brazil and it takes players from Brazil to show Caitlin Clark the kind of appreciation and respect that her play and what she's brought to the table deserves. I'm not saying these guys in the WNBA should kiss Caitlin Clark's butt. But we've seen this before. We saw it with Tiger Woods when he hit the PGA Tour. And it wasn't that the PGA Tour was losing money, but after some initial, very slight initial pushback from a Fuzzy Zeller or maybe a handful of other players, everybody in the PGA Tour fell in line and was like, man, look what Tiger has done for us. Look at all this new money and attention that's come into the game of golf because of Tiger Woods. And so they competed against Tiger, but they all respected Tiger. They weren't trying to tear Tiger down. They weren't running around saying, I'm the real reason, or these white men aren't being celebrated enough. They're only interested in Tiger Woods. And this is an indication of racism. No, the men in the PGA Tour was like, this dude's making it rain money over here. I'm making more money. We're all making more money. We're all bigger stars than we ever have been. And they celebrated, respected Tiger, and competed against him at a high level. No one bent the knee and just kissed the guy's butt. There's a way to handle when a superstar shows up, takes your business, your industry to a new level. We saw it with Tiger Woods and the PGA Tour. We're not seeing it in the WNBA. We're seeing a bunch of women hate on Caitlin Clark. I want to show you this clip of the Brazilian players after the game lining up to get an autograph from Caitlin Clark. Play the clip. This is after the game. These are women of color that don't have a problem with Caitlin Clark. They actually appreciate what Caitlin Clark has brought to the table. They know that Caitlin Clark has been good to them, and they live in Brazil. They're not a part of the WNBA. It's embarrassing what the American women, the entitled American women, the Yas queens of America, the way they've treated Caitlin Clark. You can call me a groupie for Caitlin Clark. You can say, you know, I'm celebrating white supremacy. I'm just speaking hardcore facts, business facts. I'm talking about gratitude and appreciation. When you receive a blessing, and that's what Caitlin Clark has been to women's basketball. If you can't thank Caitlin Clark, at least thank God. Show some form of gratitude instead of hate. This is what people do not like about WNBA players. They're entitled. We should be paid more, even though our league is losing millions of dollars. We should be paid like men, even though we can barely hit, and I'm talking about Angel Reese, can barely hit layups. A'ja Wilson should be the face of the league, even though no one finds her at 6'5" or 6'4" relatable. She's not as fun to watch or as exciting as Caitlin Clark, and fans aren't showing up to see A'ja Wilson. A'ja Wilson should be appreciative rather than Caitlin Clark doesn't understand her white privilege. And that's what we like about you, Kelsey Plum. You have white privilege and you recognize it. And you realize it's your job to elevate the black women who carry this league to $20 and $30 million in losses every year. No one's paying to see Brittany Griner tatted up and looking like a man. That's just a fact. No one wants to see Angel Reese miss bunnies and layups. That's just a fact. Angel Reese's entire platform is built off of trolling Caitlin Clark. Thank you to the ladies of Brazil for coming in and showing Caitlin Clark some proper respect. Maybe they'll be role models for the rest of the WNBA. Maybe they'll get it now.